Hey guys, what's happening? This is Tobin here, and I got a new mic. Yeah, new mic. Welcome to Dia Esther. A game that I've wanted to play for a long time. Been on the back of my mind. I've actually wanted to play this since it came out, but I've never gotten to it. But it's like more of a storytelling game than anything. I don't know if this is too loud. I'm sorry if my voice is too loud for this episode, but I'll try to fix it. I did turn up the game volume because the soundtrack is amazing in this. Also adjusted this. I did a little test. It was a little loud, but I'm now using the Yeti microphone with a pop filter on it. I kind of want to. I'm actually gonna see if I can't pull this into the camera real quick, so I'm gonna mute it and hope that I don't create too much noise. Okay, sorry about that. If I made noise with that, I am extremely sorry. Maybe plug it stuff. Well, without further ado, let's just get started in this. With the lighthouse. I know from what I've read that there are like little spirits and stuff in this that you can see if you look wrong. So, without further ado, let's watch this loading screen. I might actually cut this part out, maybe. No, I won't. So, I tried to do a recording earlier with my nephew Zaid, but that didn't go too well. One, with the amount of interruptions I've got, but two, because the mic didn't actually catch loud enough. Yeah. This game is very similar to Presentable Liberty, if any of you have seen gameplay on that or anything. But I plan to go with that.
Dear Esther, I've lost track of how long I've been here, and how many visits I have made overall. Certainly the landmarks are now so familiar to me that I have to remind myself to actually see the forms and shapes in front of me. I could stumble blind across these rocks, the edges of these precipices, without fear of missing my step and plummeting down to sea. Besides, I have always considered that if one is to fall, it is critical to keep one's eyes firmly open.
Okay, interesting. So I know that there's a ghost that appears up there once you're inside, and I think there's one that will cross the screen. I just pointed the screen like you can see, but that first window right there. I believe if you watch that, a spirit. Oh, right there. The flashlight's automatic in this, so that's great. So let's. Right there. Oop, there you go. Hi! Now that's besides another ghost, that's the last one I know, but that ghost isn't until later. So let's just keep moving on. That was weird. Anything back in here? Paint cans. Why would you need this much paint? I mean, I understand if you're gonna paint that, but that looks like it's all white paint. Let's head left. There's no sprinting mechanic in this, but we need one. Guessing that's our final goal. Maybe. But I really like the graphics in this. 7 out of 10. Too much water. No. But right now I have no internet connection. Something's going on with my router, and I can't really go and investigate it. But if I could, I would. I was planning on doing Borderlands, the pre-sequel with Jacob later, but with the internet acting up, that might wait until tomorrow. Next thing I plan on recording is Presentable Liberty. But I need to ask my friend Victor what audio program he used. He found a little voice recording program for his Tumblr page. Not linking that because he doesn't want to be known. Guess we'll head back up.
Those islands in the distance, I'm sure, are nothing more than relics of another time, sleeping giants, somnambulist gods laid down for a final dreaming. I wash the sand from my lips and grip my wrist ever more tightly. My shaking arms will not support my fading diaries.
Okay. Continue down the beach side. This is the pace of the game, by the way. That's an interesting shape. Anyway, yeah. I also plan on recording tomorrow another episode of the Minecraft series. I just need to get the world, gather some stuff before I do that.
I have found the ship's manifest, crumpled and waterlogged under a stash of paint cans. It tells me that along with this present cargo, there was a large quantity of antacid yogurt bound for the European market. It must have washed out to sea. God knows there are no longer gulls or goats here to eat it.
Okay. Can I go any further? I'm gonna say no and go back, I guess. Well, what else do I plan on doing? This is supposed to be more of a, like, mystifying kind of story. Like, you're supposed to wonder what actually happened, I believe. I don't know. I've never watched a complete playthrough on this, but this is going to be a complete playthrough. I don't even know how long it's going to take for me to finish this. But I plan on getting through it, and this is going to be probably the longest I've actually talked. You know, I actually do plan on doing, like, custom zombies from time to time, like for Call of Duty World at War. Because, why not? Why not? I'm also, I think on Fridays from now on, I'm actually going to record just a random indie game as well. Now, if I lived on this island, I would enjoy that view. Sure, I'd be lonely because it's uninhabited anymore, but I'd love it. Would you? Comment down below if you'd actually love to be on this island. Going to guess that just comes back from the lighthouse. So let's head up.
Reading Donnelly by the weak afternoon sunlight, he landed on the south side of the island, followed the path to the bay and climbed the mount. He did not find the caves, and he did not chart the north side. I think this is why his understanding of the island is flawed, incomplete. He stood on the mount and only wondered momentarily how to descend, but then he didn't have my reasons.
Also, I will stop talking whenever they do any kind of dialogue or anything. Yeah, I work 6 days this week, so it's going to be fun. I'm off on Friday. I gotta find
When
an
someone
indie
had
game.
died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boat, and know to send aid or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff paths died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this: to keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh.
Now it seems like some kind of disease got out. Killed off everyone. Looks like there's paths right over there. I might be wrong, I might be right. Sometimes the best way to catch these ghosts is to look at them from afar. That's what I know, because once you get close, they like to disappear.
We are not like Lot's wife, you and I. We feel no particular need to turn back. There's nothing to be seen if we did. No tired old man parting the cliffs with his arms. No gifts or Bibles laid out on the sand for the taking. No tides turning or the shrieking gulls overhead. The bones of the hermit are no longer laid out for the taking. I have stolen them away to the guts of this island, where the passages all run to black, and where we can light each other's faces by their strange luminescence.
So yeah, this is gonna be fun to run through this. But I have a lot planned to do, and I'm hoping to carry it on. I'm hoping to record more regularly. Maybe I should split this. I think I'm going to split this up by chapters. So there should be 4 episodes in total. I plan on going through it in one go, but I also plan on just so yeah, I'm gonna split it up into 4 parts. And I wonder what's in there. See, the thing is, we can go left, or we can go that way.
Dear Esther, I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life.
Guess this is point of no return. So I could push left and continue up that beach there, but I think I'm going to push into the hills. Yeah. This has a saving mechanic.
I would leave you presents outside your retreat in this interim space between cliff and beach. I would leave you loaves and fishes, but the fish stocks have been depleted and I've run out of bread. I would row you back to your homeland in a bottomless boat, but I fear we would both be driven mad by the chatter of the sea creatures.
This game is really good. I actually might have no choice but to go back and You said there was no more fish. I found fish and bread. Although that's molded in a paint can. I have a feeling this game is obsessed with paint. Paint sniffers. Ah, this would be better if I had a gun. Don't you be making noise. This is an underrated game, I believe. Soundtrack's amazing. Gameplay, while not action-based, is very well. Just listen to the soundtrack. I believe this particular track is called New Morstad. I might be wrong on that, so don't quote me on that. I believe when this game first came out and there was little to know about it, people were freaked out that this might be a horror type game, but it's more of an adventure type. Let's stay on the path.
I dreamt I stood in the center of the sun, and the solar radiation cooked my heart from the inside. My teeth will curl and my fingernails fall off into my pockets like loose change. If I could stomach, I'd eat, but all I seem capable of is salt water. Were the livestock still here, I could turn feral and gorge. I'm as emaciated as a body on a slab, opened up for a premature source of death. I've rowed to this island in a heart without a bottom, all the bacteria of my gut rising up to sing to me.
This is an amazing soundtrack. I'm sorry, I'm going to say that a lot, but I love this soundtrack. Kind of looks like we can push up that cliffside a bit. And again, that might just wrap around because I don't think I can push up that way. Yeah. So, let's keep pushing. That's an interesting rock formation. My TS is plugged in and charging right now. I'm playing Pokemon Omega Ruby. I'm at the Elite Four. I'm trying to beat him again so I can go and grab Deoxys. I plan on catching all of them. Another point of no return. This is chapter 2. Already? That doesn't seem too long. We'll see.
Dear Esther, I have now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times.
Actually,
But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and of course reference them within a millimetre using my ordnance survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turnoff for Sanford and the welcome break services. But although I can always see it in my rearview mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
yeah, this is going to be a two-part thing. I'm just going to do 2 chapters and then that. 2 chapters per episode. Nah, you know what? Screw it. Let's just do the whole game. Screw it. Don't care if it's a long upload. There's a light out there. Apparently I'm able to push up this cliff a bit. I don't know where this path is taking me. Looks like a cargo shipwreck, or maybe that's a crab ship. Don't know. It's a ship that's on shore. It's a beached whale. I mean ship. You saw that, right? there, and I'm going to look closer upon it. There was something there. I am not crazy.
All night the boy has kept me lucid. I sat, when I was at the very edge of despair, when I thought I would never unlock the secret of the island, I sat at the edge, and I watched the idiot boy blink through the night. He's mute, and he is retarded, and he has no thought in his metal head but to blink each wave and each minute aside until the morning comes and renders him blind as well as deaf-mute. In many ways, we have much in common.
Right here, there was something standing right here. What was that? It sounded like it came right on top of me. I guess that's the buoy he's talking about. Let's head down to the boat. I don't know what that says. If anybody knows what that says, post down in the comments. But, yeah. Interesting so far. So there's some secret behind this island that's apparently leading to illness or something. I don't think we can actually get on the boat. That'd be interesting if we could. So we might just push past it. And I believe if I look back there, I might actually be able to see that ghosty ghoul last time. This is an interesting
I had
game.
kidney stones, and you visited me in the hospital. After the operation, when I was still half submerged in anesthetic, your outline and your speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car of a drunk.
I'm gonna go check down here, see if there's anything. So if that buoy was supposed to protect things, is Captain paying attention with this ship, or? Oh, I can zoom in. I think there's something there, I can't tell.
There must be a hole in the bottom of the boat. How else could new hermits have arrived?
New hermits. What else? They could have fell from the sky. Possibly, actually. That'd be an interesting theory. Thought I saw something out of the corner of my eye. I'm glad you guys can't see my desk. It is a mess. I need to clean it. Continue onward.
Is this what Paul saw through his windscreen? Not Lot's wife looking over her shoulder, but a scar in the hillside, falling away to black forever.
Well, I guess we don't want to fall down there. House on the hillside.
I've begun my ascent on the green slope of the western side. I've looked deep into the mountain from the shaft, and understood that I must go up and then find the way under.
There's something there.
I will stash the last vestiges of my civilization in the stone walls and work deeper from there. I'm drawn by the aerial and the cliff edge. There is some form of rebirth waiting for me there.
It's like some kind of stable.
The bothy was constructed originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. He was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it. There was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him either.
Check this out, then check out the house. Was there something there? I swear I saw something. Something dashed from right here over to that one. I like this game, man. It plays with your mind. I actually do love it. This is... I don't know why it's still awkward for me. I've gotten used to talking to you guys, but it still feels awkward.
3 cormorants seen at dusk. They did not land. This house built of stone, built by a long-dead shepherd. Contents: my camp bed, a stove, a table, chairs, my clothes, my books. The caves that score out the belly of this island, leaving it famished. My limbs and belly famished. This skin, these organs, this failing eyesight. When the battery runs out in my torch, I will descend into the caves and follow only the phosphorescence home.
Something tells me he went into those caves over there. I have no way of getting there. Yeah, no way. This guy was obsessed with caves. That'd be death. That'd be death if I dropped down there. Kinda want to. Whoops.
Come back.
Whoops. Guess that's what happens when you fall. I'm gonna take a guess that's where we're going over there.
He left his body to the medical school and was duly opened out for a crowd of students 21 days after his passing. The report is included in my edition of his book. The syphilis had torn through his guts like a drunk driver. scrambling his organs like eggs on a plate. But enough definition remained for a cursory examination, and, as I suspected, they found clear evidence of kidney stones. He's likely to have spent the last years of his life in considerable pain. Perhaps this is the root of his laudanum habit. Although its use makes him an unreliable witness, I find myself increasingly drawn into his orbit.
The main thing? Amnesia?
They found Jakobsen in early spring. The thaw had only just come. Even though he'd been dead nearly 7 months, his body had been frozen right down to the nerves and had not even begun to decompose. All around him, small flowers were reaching for the weak sun. The goats had adjusted happily to life without a shepherd and were grazing freely about the valley. Donnelly reports they hurled the body in fear and disgust down the shaft, but I cannot corroborate this story.
Down what shaft? Apparently there's a swim mechanic. That's creepy. I don't have any reason to swim though. So actually, maybe. No, I'm not gonna go for it. No. No. We're just gonna go ahead and keep going. I'm hoping my internet's back up. But I won't know until after. So how's your day? Good. Very good. This is more than likely going to go uncut. It's easier to upload that way.
Climbing down to the caves, I slipped and fell and have injured my leg. I think the femur is broken. It is clearly infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves, winter tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones. I struggled back to the bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end. The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent.
Okay, crazy on now. Who lit this candle? Someone here. This the well they sent him down? Okay, I guess that's the next chapter, actually. Whoop. I'm making great progress. It's late at night. I work at 12 tomorrow. It's actually 12 at night right now. I work for 12 hours. I need to get my clothes.
Did Jakobsen crawl this far? Can I identify the scratches his nails ruined into the rocks? Am I following him cell for cell, inch for inch? Why did he turn back on himself and not carry through to the ascent?
I guess he's playing Final Fantasy. Apparently I'm fine. And I have no body. I don't even have any legs. This one looks weird. Let's just keep going.
They'd stop the traffic back as far as the Sandford Junction and come up the hard shoulder like radio signals from another star. It took 21 minutes for them to arrive. I watched Paul time it to the second on his watch.
In real life, I would actually love to see a formation like this. More of the magical writing. It probably has a meaning behind it, but I wouldn't be able to tell. Now let's head back this way. I think this guy does everything automatically, from ducking to standing, except for swimming and walking. Oh, bonsai! I don't think there's anything down here. No, nothing. Again, I'm sorry if this is loud and either I'm quiet or the game's loud, or the game's quiet and I'm loud. I still have to work this out, and I might mess with the audio, I don't know. I can fit. Continue onwards, take care not to fall. Even though it fell from up there, I believe. Maybe it was right there. Maybe. That's blood. That is blood. Or maybe, no, looks like it, but it's not. From that thing right there. I know I'm not the best commentator, I'm far from it. But for those of you who are watching and staying with me, thank you. And for those that had just skipped to this part, go back and watch the rest of the episode. You might miss something. Can I pick these? These look tasty. Maybe that's what that's made out of. Maybe. Have the same glow.
I am traveling through my own body, following the line of infection from the shattered femur towards the heart. I swallow fistfuls of painkillers to stay lucid. In my delirium, I see the twin lights of the moon in the area shining to me through the rocks.
Do we go right? Do we go left? Do we go straight? Well, that would bring the way deeper in. This would bring the way out because the water's coming in. Then again, it might be reversed. But I feel we're lower than the ocean at the moment. But I may be wrong, and I think I'm wrong. Hey, I'm wrong. We can at least see what's down here. Hey, this makes us move faster. Looks like he likes to jump out on his own too. Actually, we might just have to get right back in. What a boat. I built places for boats. Where am I supposed to go? Is this the right way to go? Sure it was. I'm lost. No, maybe that way. No, that was still an interesting thing to go and see. I should rocks. Rocks. Beautiful rocks. Look, more paint. Stuck on something then. I'm gonna take a few of these home, see how much they're worth. That's gonna go this way.
When I was coming round from the operation, I remember the light they shone in my eyes to check for pupil contraction. It was like staring up at a moonlit sky from the bottom of a well. People moved at the summit, but I could not tell if you were one of them.
just keep on moving. Behold, Damascus is taken. 2.0. Damascus. It's not Demacia, but oh well. There shall be a purpose reap or keep. Interesting. This is actually my first time actually paying attention to the story. It's actually my first time playing it too. If you haven't caught on to that. Guess so we're going down. And I'm yelling, shiver me timbers. Might be the next chapter. Yep. What? Operating table in the middle of the street. Must be some kind of street doctor. Let's get back up to the top. Actually, see if we can get anything out of this. And I guess we're on to the next part. Maybe this is the final part. If this is just chapter 2, I don't know what to do. I don't know how long of a gameplay this is supposed to be. Anything from afar? No. trying to get back up onto this path here.
I sat here and watched two jets carve parallel white lines into the sky. They charted their course, and I followed them for 21 minutes until they turned off near Sanford and were lost. If I were a gull, I would abandon my nest and join them. I would starve my brain of oxygen and suffer delusions of transcendence. I would tear the bottom from my boat and sail across the motorways until I reached this island once again.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that a couple of hours have passed. At least in game, not if that happen. If it's already been like 2 hours already in game, well, shit. Oh, hey, look at that. Look at that. I'm gonna go check out this lantern over here. Possible. Yeah. Believe there's anything up there. I'm gonna continue on.
Dear Esther, I find each step harder and heavier. I drag Donnelly's corpse on my back across these rocks, and all I hear are his whispers of guilt, his reminders, his burnt letters, his neatly folded clothes. He tells me I was not drunk at all.
You're a new person. Who are you? Hi there. You're not fading away. In fact, you're staying there. See, now you can see there are ghosts. Ghosty ghouls. And you're still there. I know there's a candle somewhere where if you look at it properly, there's figures standing in front of it from the reflection of the water. I wonder who she is. Now let's continue along the beach. We'll check it out. Go ahead and check all the candles we can. That's something. Go check that out first. This is gonna be a long recording. Probably gonna take a while to upload. It's a car. How'd that get here? And why are there candles around it? Are you still there? I think she's still there. That might actually be a rock, but it doesn't look like a rock. No, that's definitely a person.
There were chemical stains on the tarmac, the leak of air conditioning, brake fluid and petrol. He kept sniffing at his fingers as he sat by the roadside, waiting as if he couldn't quite understand or recognize their smell. He said he'd been traveling back from a sales conference in Exeter. He'd stopped for farewell drinks earlier, but had kept a careful eye on his intake. You could hear the sirens above the idling traffic.
You're still a new person. I don't know if I can trust you. Trust me. You might have missed it.
From here, I could see my armada. I collected all the letters I'd ever meant to send to you, if I'd have ever made it to the mainland, but had instead collected at the bottom of my rucksack, and I spread them out along the lost beach. Then I took each and every one, and I folded them into boats. I folded you into the creases, and then, as the sun was setting, I set the fleet to sail. Shattered into 21 pieces, I consigned you to the Atlantic. And I sat here until I'd watched all of you sink.
And yet I'm still here getting your letters. Apparently they're back. So. We might be starting our ascent back to the town. On a sudden, a light from heaven shone around him, and he fell to the ground. So yeah, we missed the one ghost that's apparently supposed to have been in a reflection of the water in front of one of the candles. That also might be a random thing that happens. Now let's continue.
I will drag my leg behind me. I will drag it like a crumpled hatchback, tires blown and sparking across the dimming lights of my vision. I'm running out of painkillers and am following the flicker of the moon home. When Paul keeled over dead on the road to Damascus, they restarted his heart with the jump leads from a crumpled hatchback. It took 21 attempts to convince it to wake up.
Interesting. So they tried to resurrect somebody with a truck. Let's see here. Can we get up there? No. I want to go pay the Ghost of Goo a visit. You're not gonna let me have that.
I've begun my voyage in a paper boat without a bottom. I will fly to the moon in it. I've been folded along a crease in time, a weakness in the sheet of life. Now you've settled on the opposite side of the paper to me. You can see your traces in the ink that soaks through the fiber, the pulped vegetation. When we become waterlogged and the cage disintegrates, we will intermingle. When this paper aeroplane leaves the cliff edge and carves parallel vapor trails in the dark, we will come together.
And he was proceeding on his journey. That's what that says. But I don't know what that first little blob between and he that what is. I don't know what that is. It might just be nothing. It might be then. And has come near Damascus.
If only Donnelly had experienced this, he would have realized he was his own shoreline, as am I. Just as I am becoming this island, so he became his syphilis, retreating into the burning synapses, the stones, the infection.
And neither did he eat or drink. And he was 3 days without sight. 3 days. He was ended with 3 days without sight. I just realized this stepping sounds almost sound like Minecraft-ish.
Bent back like a nail, like a hangnail, like a drowning man clung onto the wheel, drunk and spiraled, washed onto the lost shore under a moon as fractured as a shattered wing. We cleave, we are flight and suspended, these wretched painkillers, this forming constant. I will take flight. I will take flight.
Hey, there was only I will take flight once in there, buddy. That's why I don't trust you. You're not following the rules. There is something on that mountainside. And it came to pass that as I made my journey, something, I'll read it on later. That as I made my journey, and was I can't read it, I'm sorry. Sorry, I can't read this. If you want to know what it actually says, I suggest actually
He was not
looking
drunk,
up.
Esther. He was not drunk at all. He had not drunk with Donnelly or spat Jakobsen back at the sea. He had not careered across the lost shores and terminal beaches of this nascent archipelago. He did not intend his bonnet to be crumpled like a spent tissue by the impact. His windscreen was not star-studded all over like a map of the heavens. His paintwork etched with circuit diagrams, strange fish to call the gulls away. The phosphorescence of the skid marks lighting the M5 all the way from Exeter to Damascus.
I'm gonna guess the island we're on is Damascus. I wonder what that says.
Come back.
Come back, I don't want to. Let's get going. Getting tired, it's probably close to... You probably hit an hour mark and I'm stuck on something. We're almost through with this. Why, hello there. Mysterious hooded figure. Actually, you're not hooded. You seem to be...
We will leave twin vapor trails in the air, white lines etched into these rocks. Dear Esther, I have burnt my belongings, my books, this death certificate. Mine will be written all across this island. Who was Jakobsen? Who remembers him? Donnelly has written of him, but who was Donnelly? Who remembers him? I have painted, carved, hewn, scored into this space all that I could draw from him. There will be another to these shores to remember me. I will rise from the ocean like an island without bottom, come together like a stone, become an aerial, a beacon, that they will not forget you. We've always been drawn here. One day the gulls will return and nest in our bones and our history. I will look to my left and see Esther Donnelly flying beside me. I will look to my right and see Paul Jakobsen flying beside me. They will leave white lines carved into the air to reach the mainland, where help will be sent.
Wait, what? So I was writing letters to myself. Wait a second, that shadow wasn't a bird this entire time. Wait, no, it couldn't have been. I had a flashlight. I turned into a bird. Okay. Now this has been an interesting story, guys. Thank you for joining me in this. Let's see how this... Is that the vapor trails up there?
Come back.
This it? That might have been it. I guess that's it, guys. Thank you for joining me in this. If you enjoyed this this very long video, please leave a like or comment down below. And until next time, have a great day. This is Tavin with his new mic. Signing off. Goodbye.